let's play this one first. Answer my challenge. Excellent, excellent. You're here. Excellent. That's awesome, Chris. I don't know, like, what your collection size is like on Moto, but it's pretty easy actually to make a deck if you have sort of if you've been playing on MTGO for any amount of time, and we have lots of pretty interesting deck lists around. So I don't know if you're interested in trying stuff out. We can show you some stuff. You know, natural order to 2 has actually been like a thing that a lot of people have argued for, and it very well might happen. The one thing though is that I actually think the best deck in the format right now is the mono green like natural order for Crater Hoof deck. It's colloquially called a Cradle Hoof, and it's really strong. Like there are not a whole lot of like natural counters to it. We'll lead on this. And so, yeah, it's really, really potent. It is a good format for like casual play, but it's nice because it's not quite as casual as like a commander or whatever that is. Like you really do feel like you get to play like real interesting games of Magic. I'm gonna fetch for blue green here because white's a much bigger splash, and we have a City of Brass if we really need to. Brainstorm. Wow, brutal. But yeah, actually, I mean, like, so we had to put a couple of points on green tutor spells because they were just too good. Summoner's Pact went up to 2 points for a little while because the Crater Hoof deck was just like, yeah, just killing everyone. It was insane. Hey, Alex just hosted us. That's awesome. Thanks, Alex. Alex and I were talking last night about his 4-color Aristocrats deck a little bit more, and it's a pretty nutty deck. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Dark Heart Wastes. I guess we'll play that. It's interesting. I don't generally like Pain Lands. Oh my god, he just has it on the natural? Oh man. I mean, we're okay, but that's actually really funny. So I'm going to play Wake Thrasher this turn for some pressure. And we'll see. Wake Thrasher has a somewhat deplorably bad synergy with City of Brass. Oh, wait, did I just die? Oh my goodness. Am I a fool? I totally thought this required 1 extra land than it does. Alright, that's pretty embarrassing. I mean, I guess we get to rep that we have... Oh god, what a huge mistake. I definitely misevaluated this. Well, that's just really bad on my part. I, like, had this Venser. Nope, I will take 20 and die. And just misplayed. Whoopsies. Sorry, stream. I, definitely could have played that game better. I'm still adjusting to, like, stream chat at one side and game at the same time. So I've been making a couple play mistakes. And okay, this hand's also fine. Snapcaster is not the threat you want, but our deck plays a whole. I had Venser in hand and tapped out because I am a fool. Yeah, you're right, Chris. You do just die to 2020s for no reason when you tap out when you have the answer in hand. If you just die to the old onboard turn 3 lethal that you have the answer to, it's certainly pretty bad, but generally that's not how things go. uh, um, actually, Dark Depths is a. Yeah, no. I think he understood that you were kidding. I think there's some sarcasm there potentially. No, doubling season is not pointed. Costs 5 mana. The effect is it's not potent enough to be worth points. Like, it's obviously strong, but the deck I'm playing right now is a Bant tempo deck. I'll post the link to a more optimal version of the list in the chat in just a second. The version I'm playing doesn't have a couple cards in it. Yeah, so it's 0 points. Man, I really wish I could draw a bounce spell. All right, let's go to tapped out. Actually, even better, I will go take the more logical step. So I will go to CanadianHighlander.wordpress.com, the great website with a sick new article that got published today by yours truly. And then if you go to Common Archetypes, I get my sweet credit for playing Band Tempo. And this is the list that we're playing, or a close approximation of the list that we're playing right now. Yeah, doubling season is actually something I've thought about before, and I've never like really made a move on it. '23 in the stream, how exciting! Vampire Hexmage. I mean, if he just plays Dark Depths, we die. So I guess I'm gonna memory lapse this for a turn at least. It's like not the best memory lapse ever or anything, but our hand's pretty bad, and I think we have to buy some time. This might be a game where we have to rely on random powerful cards to get the job done. Like we have Jace the Mind Sculptor in our deck, some stuff like that. Yeah, we're definitely hoping it was not Dark Depths time when they played the when you cast the old Vampire Hexmage. Hexmage again. I might just let it resolve this time. I'm trying to think. I guess I can like Snapcaster memory lapse it. Alright, I'm in. The Snapcaster can be a threat. We don't have anything that's obviously gonna be better, so. He had a mana floating, Chris, because it's a Golgari Rot farm. So I couldn't have dazed it. He could have just paid. Unfortunately. Otherwise, I certainly would have made that play. Yeah, I mean, we are just making him draw a Vampire Hexmage every turn, which is, is okay, but we really do need one of our higher quality threats. All right, what's happening to us now? I will daze virtually anything, I think. More like Farts of Will? Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I might miss onboard 2020s, but I do know when I can and can't daze, apparently. That's not the card we wanted to draw at this stage in the game, but it's actually fine. Suspending in here takes off the option of hardcasting Force of Will, which sucks a little bit, but I really want to get this thing on suspend because we just like don't have any gas in hand. and I think it's a losing play to just hold up Force of Will this turn. Yeah, the Highlander logo is amazing. There's like a blue and red version that look super super cool. It was done by one of the members of the community named Adam Price. He's like really really great artist. Does a lot of really good stuff. He's been working on like little insignias for various different deck archetypes that people are really well known for. I mean, I don't think we can care about it anymore. I think the time has come where Vampire Hexmage has to just resolve. Yeah, this one we're not letting resolve. All right. Well, that was an okay sequence for us. Ugh. Really bad though. All right. Well, we gotta hold on for a few more turns, but you know, it's not the worst. So green black classically has a hard time against some of the tempo decks, especially the green based ones. I will take 2, just because the green threats can be really powerful. Usually, I think most of our threats are going to be able to outclass the 2/1, so it should be okay. Oh, Sylvan Scrying and Expedition Map are really good. Brainstorm. Do we just want to fire this off now? Could be okay. This deck on MTGO, I'll check the exact price, but it's actually lower than you would think it is. This deck on Moto, it's 666 tickets, but actually the big reason is Emerald, Sapphire, and Time Walk are like probably I think your big money cards there. So I'm debating just main phasing this Brainstorm. I think I'm gonna do it. There's a bunch of stuff we can find that we might want to cast this turn, like these things. It's a little awkward because now we're drawing land, but we have an Ancestral Visions coming off suspend. I am gonna cast Skulker and save Lorascale Codal as the pitch card. And I did this all pre-combat for basically no good reason, actually. I should have done this post-combat, but yeah, Force of Will is not a trivially cheap card. The fetch lands and dual lands actually are kind of expensive too. Like, you know, Scalding Tarn runs you a fair amount. But this is actually like on the pricier side of decks you could build on Moto. We have a bunch of lists up on our tapped out, which you can click below. I am gonna counter this. Or wait, actually, do we just want to let this resolve and then play Lorascale next turn? This is coming off suspend in 2 turns. Yeah, like we can just let this resolve and play a Lorascale Quaddle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna have 7 mana. I guess the argument for casting Force of Will there is that we know we're not going to be able to play Force of Will this turn. I also timed out the very first time I was doing this, and so I've been trying to play a little bit faster, but it's been a bit of a problem for me. I do have a list to an approximation of that black-green deck, actually. Give me 1 second, and I can find it. That's a list that Jeremy and I came up with. Jeremy's the other one who is occasionally active on the Twitter, and yeah, all around good guy. He hosts the podcast with me. So we will attack. Yeah, again, this pre-convert. Budget green black Highlander aggro. right here, right now. There's a list. Oh wait, I'm too used to using a Mac. There you go. That's not the exact list that that Trevor was playing last time we were streaming, but it's close. He's made like some slight upgrades. Like he has a Bayou in his deck. He's playing like he's not even playing all fetch lands, but he's playing like one or two. All right, this is pretty good for us. So this comes off suspend, which means we get to target ourselves. Lore skill total is gonna grow, which is great. We will always yield yes. Oh, that's still okay. Whoops, sorry. 1 second. Let me try actually hitting control instead of not control like a ham sandwich. Yeah, here we go. That's the correct one. All right, and then what do we draw for turn? Island, eh? Oh. Island's less good, but now we are executing the classic tempo strategy, so to speak. We have a big threat on board. We have a bunch of counter spells in hand. I think we beat basically everything but Dark Depths. That's kind of a cute interaction with Vampire Hexmage. It's not going to be enough, I don't think, but no, Bant is certainly not black-green. You are not wrong. Green-blue is also pretty good. Holy crap, is Hex Parasite just going to ruin my day? I mean, I don't really want to let this resolve. Let's just counter it. Oh, green-white tokens, like green-white in general is definitely a playable archetype, and tokens, though it hasn't been fully explored, it's definitely like a viable archetype. I would not like to get him to Turok. I don't know if Chris is still in the stream, but if he is, let me know, and I'll send you a link to what I think is the best natural order deck in the format, if that's a card you're interested in playing. Man. Well, I mean, he kind of has to cast his spells. This matchup is classically kind of hard for him because he also missed land drops. Like that's the other thing too. If you miss land drops against tempo, it's just like super challenging to come back. All right, we drew this cryptic command. So I actually think we can go for kind of a cool lethal here, where so we have 6 damage, but what we can do is we can cast Snapcaster, or we could cryptic command, and it doesn't play around a couple things, but I think it's going to be too sweet not to do. So we're going to return this to our hand, draw a card. We drew a Vapor Snag. That's pretty good. Drawing a card is going to grow this Lore Scale Quaddle. And then we're going to cast Snapcaster Mage, target Brainstorm. And then we're going to Snapcaster our Brainstorm and attack for 8. Sneaky lethal. We had Force of Will. We went shields down for a second there to something like Slaughter Pact, but I think if we got Slaughter Pacted there, we were still in pretty good shape. Yeah, the sweet place for sure. Not nearly as sweet as last stream, man. Last stream we had the dream. The blue-white-red Time Vault deck that just wouldn't die. And yeah, so this is tempo. We're gonna play this on turn 1, and then we're gonna have these 2 spells. Yeah, this hand's amazing. This is a really good example of why green-black struggles against tempo. Because we just have a bunch of fast and powerful threats, and generally green-black decks are looking to do things that are a little bigger mana, and big mana just does not match up well against counter spells, like Condescend and Delay. Yeah, Bronze Storm? That's definitely true, man. How many viewers do we have right now? Oh, 25. Thanks for watching, guys. My opponent, by the way, is a guy named Jacob Johnson from the Midwestern United States. Big shout outs to him for being here to play. It's really awesome. Like, just reached out on Twitter and said like, yeah, I'm down to play some games. Let's play some games. So that's really cool. If anyone else like in the chat, like if you have an account on Magic Online and you are interested in playing some Canadian Highlander, like I can send you some lists that are pretty. Yes, I'd like to make this a rhino. That are pretty easy to build, and like I said, if you have an okay starting point as far as collection goes, you really can build a deck really easily. Bayou, anything but Abrupt Decay here is fine. If it's Abrupt Decay, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. But, yours won't start. How odd. So you're from Australia, eh? Hit me with Treetop. That is acceptable. There's actually a pretty cool Australian Highlander scene, too. This is kind of an interesting thing, right? Like, there are... I'm going to play this threat out for this turn. Oh, cool. That tweet is for a standard deck from a different, a bygone era. Alright, so, yeah, we played this Trigon Predator basically because we need to get threats on the board. Like, 4 mana's a little scary. There's some stuff he can do that we won't like, but for the most part, I think we'll be okay. Oh, you can definitely make an Enchantress deck in Canadian Highlander. That's certainly possible. Yeah, like that's an archetype that people have played before to like reasonable success. It's interesting. So there's Highlander in Australia, Victoria, BC, and then the other place is Germany, is the big place they play it. And really, like, kind of frustratingly, actually, all of us use different systems. So like in Australia, they play with 60 cards, and they still have a points list. But since it's 60 cards, like there's just a whole manner of things that change. And then in Germany, they play with a banned list and 100 cards as well. So it's also very different. Oh man, Force of Will was such a great draw here, by the way. We now get to like tap out for the sword, and establishing the Sword of Green-Black against the Green-Black Splash White deck is pretty good. Yeah, thanks, Vestman. Battlebot's a cool deck for sure. Oh no. That's one thing we actually can't really beat right now is the old Merit Lodge. Oh no, actually we're okay against Merit Lodge. It's black. We could block it. But we gotta keep this Trigon alive. Alright, Animate Treetop hit me. That's fine. I mean, eventually we're gonna have to do something about this. Tapped Out's really cool. It's actually a good system. Like, and they've been nice enough to actually include Highlander Reanimate on my Skin Shifter. So that's something I care about. Might actually be something I care about, eh? I mean, I guess he has to choose between attacking with Treetop. I don't think this is worth the Force of Will. No real Magic scene in Northern Germany. That sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. Oh, Glacial Fortress was a money draw. So, we could just path this Skin Shifter, but I want to save Path Exile for a potential, Merit Lodge or something like that. As it is, we're going to equip this up. And I think we win this race. Bam. Bam. How cheap are you able to make a Highlander deck that's not garbage? Actually pretty cheap, I gotta say. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we have this anti-synergy with Mox Sapphire that I totally forgot about, and yeah, misplayed by using to equip sword. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite me. Yeah, budgetless. Alex is right. It's like you can do it for $100 easy. $100, no worries. One of the nice things is that with CE cards, it's like pretty doable. Um, we have, if you check out the tapped out, which I think there's a link to it at the bottom of the screen. There should be, under deck lists. If you have a look there, check out the tapped out, and just scroll through our profile. Like we have constructed a bunch of different lists, and you can look at the costs, and you can actually even tune the costs to suit your needs. Make this thing a 4/4. Man, I actually kind of want to path this now, actually. The more I think about it. I think I'm going to path it. I can't, like... Treasure Cruise is super cheap, and it's a point, which is good stuff. But yeah, so like we have a bunch of budget lists. There's a list for basically every archetype under $200 easy. Most of them are like around the $100 area, and that's assuming that you start with like actual 0 cards. We're making another Bayou, eh? Okay, that's fine. Setting up some kind of spicy play, no doubt. So our hand's just like all counters. The one problem is that this treetop village is eventually going to do something, probably. But this is classically what the tempo deck's trying to do. Just like get a threat on board, get to untap with it, and then like you should be able to ride that baby to victory. If you're new to the stream, or watching by virtue of Alex's very gracious hosting, please follow along or follow us. That'd be super awesome. I don't have a like schedule set up yet or anything like that. I don't know whether I'm going to stream on a schedule, but I'll let people know on Twitter when I'm planning to stream for sure. And yeah, you can get informed as well. We really want to get more people playing. Yeah, the blue-green tempo deck ended up being really cheap. Chromox is fine. This looks like it's going to be some kind of huge kind of deal. I'm a little scared, actually. What is going on? Holy crap, are we like hard casting some huge thing? Dark Petition. Okay, are there uncounterable spells we care about? Probably. And actually we just like have the luxury of just mana draining this and like planning on and still having it out to basically anything else he does. And then we'll have, 5 mana. Yeah, the blue-green tempo deck ended up really cheap. If people want, actually, what I can do after we play a couple games is like show you some really cheap decks, like some budget lists that are really decent and certainly playable. Let's take our mana. So since we have all this floating mana, I'm actually gonna make this play, since I think some kind of treetop village sequence is the only thing that actually potentially kills us. Or I guess maybe I was supposed to save that in case he, or yeah, in case he draws Dark Depths. No, we still beat Dark Depths with this sequence. We're okay. But yeah, if people are interested in that, like I could look at doing, or oh yeah, we get to destroy this Chromox for free. That's sick. I can definitely make some budget decks on air. We can talk about it. I'm trying to set up a fashion or some kind of situation where I'm either going to try and get a second monitor. Like, I'd like to be able to have people in on Skype, but I don't want to risk people's public information, because as it is right now, obviously, my streaming setup is not, like, super high quality, so I need to either find a way to hide the Skype window or something like that. But ideally, I'd like to have some people in to talk about different lists. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter recently, which is really cool, that people have been more and more aware of the format. Hey, we won the match. All right, cool. Yeah, when you can use Collector's Edition, it really lowers the cost. That was a great game, actually. That's like more or less how you would expect things to go when you are playing this deck and they're playing some kind of black-green mid-range deck. But,